Okay, Surbi will be joining us right here. I want to say a very big thank you to Harshit and Surbi, and I'm so touched with the entire feeling, how it really matters. How many notes you guys have made. I love the detailing that you remember in terms of carrying 3 pens for a meeting. I'm so touched with how it has helped you in your business, Harshit. And you truly make us proud, and I want to see you really go up a long way, become the best planner to begin with in the city of Pune, which has a lot of wealth and it has the right kind of audience who understands the importance of a planner. I'm going to request Surbi to join me in over here, and I'll immediately patch her up. What was very interesting was also the fact that Harshit spoke very beautifully of the fact that how planners are going to be more important than ever before. I could not have imagined somebody who's just got into this industry 2 years back to be able to think at that level. But that's such a valid point, Harshit, that you made. That yes, they are going to require planners, and very importantly, they're going to require professionally run agencies. Definitely, there is going to be utmost importance given to the well-learned planner, and it's not just about a random agency coming into place. So it's kudos to you that you're able to identify that as a huge opportunity, and definitely companies like yours will be chosen over somebody else who is not as professionally run, who does not have his systems and processes in place, because now the question is the safety of the guests and how secure and comfortable we can make them feel. So very happy to hear that conversation between Surbi and Harshit. I'll request you to keep the questions pouring in. We just had to get off live for a minute. I think there was some network issue. But nonetheless, I do remember one of the questions that was raised, which was to do with coronavirus and how will it affect the industry and the economy. If rules come in, which they will have to come in, new systems will come into place. I don't understand and I don't license with the whole thought process that it can affect the industry or the kind of business that we generate, because the person who is looking at doing a wedding, a destination wedding or a wedding in their city, is now not suddenly not going to get married just because there are rules that a hotel is setting up. The hotel is setting the rules for their safety. Let's not forget, every unfortunate incident has always led to a new system, a new protocol coming into place. I don't know how many of you, I mean, the younger ones may not have taken a flight 20 years back, but there was a time when we were sort of never questioned on what we carried in our handbags, right? There was then, of course, a time when even a water bottle was put to test, right? So people complained. I remember after the 9/11 attacks, or when all these systems of liquids not permitted and blah, blah came in, people didn't take it well. They objected. They got offended. They accused government and you know, or international organizations, claiming that the real people who are causing us pain are somewhere safe, and you're actually doubting every single citizen. Today, it's a part of our life. Today, we are not at all worried, or we do not find it unusual. And really, it's become. There was then the space when we had the unfortunate incident that took place at the Taj Hotel. And after that, frisking of bags, frisking people became such a huge deal that it was implemented world over. We did complain back then as well, and today it's part of our life. We don't seem to find it unusual at all. So everyone gets used to and has to adapt to newer ways. The rules that will come in now are going to stay. Even if the vaccine comes into place, at least for a couple of years, you're going to see that little bit of jitters in people. It's going to stay. It's okay, because it's only being done to make you and me feel safer. So you have to get used to it. And instead of fretting and crying, like Harshit and Surbi were talking, it's time to adapt. Yes. Hi, Surbi.
Hello,
I think there was some network
issues.
Yes. But
something happened.
We're good to go.
Bye,
I love
bye.
this session. But I loved what you and Harshit spoke of. It is wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am. We had a great time discussing about the situation and everything that this industry is going through right now and what will it offer later. So I don't think there's something we need to worry a lot about when it comes to the wedding industry. We just have to get used to the new norms.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I think there was somebody, Surbhi, who I think had posted a question with regards to the internships.
Yes.
I'll quickly just want to answer that. So basically, you can avail of internships through the courses and through the wedding school. These are largely going to be internships which give you the opportunity to work with wedding planners and decor companies, and in some cases, like in Surbhi's case, and in the case of a couple of our other students, we also gave them the opportunity of working within the wedding space, but in related streams. So one of them worked with a photography company, Surbhi worked with a choreographer. So you have those kind of varied options as well, because wedding planning expertise, understanding sensibilities, equation striking, client servicing, all these aspects are required for any and every aspect of weddings, and that's what you learn at the wedding school. So yes, your internship will be taken care of.
Yes.
Payal is writing in. I just wanted to ask, do you think would we be able to take this situation to our advantage and learn how to prepare in a better way so we are ready to face any crisis situation? Yes, while I don't think you can expect any kind of crisis, the biggest crisis which was unexpected and unprecedented, a crisis which I really doubt in a world that actually runs online, in a world where we had started collaborating across economies, where borders did not matter, where political differences were kept aside and economies were functioning to benefit mutually both the countries involved. All of that had to be kept aside, and a lockdown had to be exercised globally. Barring a few nations, in this world, every single nation has been affected. So this was the worst of crisis, pile that one could expect. What now you can do is only be dealing with the existing crisis. There is not going to be a new shocker you can expect. However, what will definitely come into place is a whole new way of living your life. So it is not going to be subjected to only destination weddings, just the normal way in which we decide to talk to each other. How often do we end up meeting up on Friday nights and Saturday nights will also be something that will change. You are not going to do it every weekend for a couple of months at least. So that part will change. Systems will come into place, but there is going to be a certain amount of economic unrest which you can expect globally. What I definitely want to speak over here is the fact that everyone will be affected. You're not going to be in isolation. I've spent the last week interacting with a lot of amazing content writers. And while these are amazing, talented people who are professionally doing so well, having spent more than a decade in their respective professions. And now they are faced with a situation, but that is not stopping them. They are writing into us. They want to liaison with, Swaha or the wedding school. And I'm sure they're approaching many other companies. But everyone is moving out there. You cannot hold back and stay in isolation or cry about it. Just go out there and find something that's going to be worth your time. And a good, hardworking, talented, intelligent person will be able to sustain and survive even in these situations. Surbhi, I think you have made good use of your time. I must say that. So, and I believe your mom is pretty busy as well.
Yes, ma'am. So managing your work and life at home when you don't have any help is very hectic. But then if you're really looking forward to doing something, then I don't think anything should stop you, because I think everyone has 24 hours and you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's how it should be.
Absolutely, and I think you're doing that balancing act really, really well.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's someone who's written, me, Matt, I have a lot of doubts since I'm planning to join this industry. Hence, want to know more about how things will change for the new recruiters and interns, especially wedding designers. I think, Surbhi, it'll be amazing if we can touch base
Yes.
with
Could you please
me,
send
Matt,
us a hi?
Parikh.
I would obviously get in touch with you. I'll just take a screenshot and I will message
Yeah.
you and get in touch with you.
Yes, yes. So we'll be happy to take this conversation offline, and definitely, if you're planning to enter the industry, you should have a lot of questions, and it will truly help if we spend some more time with you and help you answer those. But very briefly, just touching upon what you're mentioning about, you wanted to know how things will change for new recruiters or interns. For wedding designing space, things will change. Like, I had a very extensive counseling session this morning as well, where I have tried explaining to the new aspirants that you are never going to have you're going to see a reduction in number of guests at wedding. The requirement will change. As against doing up larger venues, now you will actually have to start designing for smaller spaces. You will have couples who will choose not even to do 50 people wedding, but do a nice stylish wedding at their bungalow or their villa, extending into a lawn, and after a year or after 6 months probably celebrating their weddings. So there are a lot of these kind of clients and these kind of wedding events that are going to fall in your lap. So as a wedding designer, it's of utmost important that you spend all your time and energy in coming up with newer designs that are meant to cater to intimate weddings. And don't be mistaken, these are not small budget weddings that we're talking about. A wealthy client, a client who's always dreamt of a great wedding for his or her child, will spend well, provided they are getting value for money.
Yes.
Right? So you focus on how can you enhance an intimate wedding, what are the value additions we can do, and it's the experiences which will be less in the form of interpersonal, because social distancing is a reality, but what can delight the eyes and what can delight the taste sensibilities will still remain. Your photographs will still be there. I'm already seeing, you've been seeing these brides wearing those
Yes.
masks.
Yes, it's a new trend now, and I think everyone should just I mean, it's something new. People, I personally feel that this is something which will challenge a lot of event planners, and you should take that as a positive thing, because all this while we had like one thing to follow, and okay, this is how wedding is supposed to be, and I know from A to Z what I'm supposed to do. But now this is like a new challenge that has been thrown at you, and how you deal with it talks a lot about how efficient you want to be and your quality of work and everything.
Absolutely. And about adapting, I think if a bride can gracefully accept that she's got to have the mask on, and she's happy to take a picture and make it go viral, you and me, all of us just need to adapt to the changing situation, which is not going to be forever. It's just about a phase that we all need to cross together. Shivam Agarwal has written, ma'am, as you seeing people are not taking seriously, not taking the norms of government. I think guests will take seriously after being with them with utmost care and safety. Shivam, I think as individuals and as people who travel for these kind of weddings, they come from a certain kind of class, where it's a certain kind of profile, but they're not going to risk their life and be careless about how they take care of themselves when they're at a venue. Rules and regulations are going to come into place, Shivam. You and me have to not just be responsible as planners. We will now become responsible not just for our teams. We will actually become responsible for our vendors, for the guests. As far as doing weddings in hotels is concerned, it's the image of the hotel which is at stake, and they are not going to take this lightly, Shivam. So, when there are big brands that are involved, they are going to follow a mandate, and that's going to come from their global offices. It's not you or me sitting in an office that can be deciding it. Government rules will come into place, And I think what Prime Minister Modi spoke of, Atmanirbhar, I know a lot of people are not understanding it, but the last week has really shaken up people, and they've realized how more attentive they will have to be if they are deciding to step out. So, Shivam, I don't think people are going to be careless when they're attending a wedding. I did hear my partner telling me something really strange, where there was this hotelier who actually said that even if the groom gets temperature, we will not allow him in the venue. So, so I mean, you have to be that serious about following certain rules, which is for the safety of everyone. So, not to worry. And with time, it's all going to also ease out a little. With time, there will be things that will become a natural way of our life, and I'm sure that it will all eventually fall in place.
Yes.
Um, so Shivam's written, many were at stake, and also our company brand name, and also will be there. Yes, 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 Shivam, your company brand name is at stake. There is no doubt. As a planner, it is not that you can be held responsible. If something happens in the eventuality, you cannot. Nobody is going to blame you as a wedding planning company. How beautifully did you attend to the guests while they were going through the process and the protocol that needs to be followed? How sensitive were you while handling them during the check-in? How particular were you of informing them what are the rules of a hotel? That is what even Harshit was referring to, that a good planning agency will definitely be able to do a better job at it, and you will get your scoring marks for doing that right. So Shivam, our role definitely increases. Now we just don't have to think about how amazing the bride is going to look and how her entry needs to be, and which is the song on which the couple need to perform. Now we also need to be able to know and guide what are the rules that a particular city or a particular airport or a particular property would like to follow. So yeah, so it'll be a lot of work for you and me to do.
Yes, ma'am. Safety is obviously, safety comes first, so we'll have to keep a track on all of it, and how to keep
Absolutely.
everyone safe from this situation.
So true. Great. I think it's time for us to sign off and wind up from our live chat. It was superb, Surbi. I'm going to, of course, chat with you through
Yes.
the week now. And thank you for making this student week special, so, so special,
Thank
with the
you, ma'am.
wonderful
Thank
interview
you for
that you did
having
with
me,
Harshit.
and see you. Thank you.
Yes, see you. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us here. Have a great Saturday evening. And of course, relax tomorrow, because from Monday on, it's going to be work as usual for a lot of us.
And stay
Thank
safe,
you and goodbye.
please, everyone.
Stay safe.